Welcome to Crossing the Aisle on this lovely Monday morning where me and Lindsay are ready to break down some of the issues and kind of moving a little differently today. But we are in the Women's Wellness Studio. Lindsay always wants me to say
You
that. Yeah, I remember.
remember
I'm trying to get better at that. The Women's Wellness Studio of Mississippi, right? Women's Wellness,
Men's Health and Women's Wellness of Mississippi.
which is located over on Fountains Boulevard or Drive. Is that in Madison? Can't Fountains.
Fountains is all I know.
That's what I know, right? Anyway, that's where you can get all your Botox, semi-glutide, and a lot of hormonal treatment. That's what you're doing now with it.
Yeah, I have an appointment this afternoon. I'm going to start some hormone replacement therapy and see how that works. Maybe I'll be even more me than before, Sean.
Oh, that's great. Well, I mean, so explain that to me. It's like when men get testosterone. I mean, I go there for my testosterone, and that's, I guess, you guys go for hormone. I don't know anything about women's hormones. This is not my topic.
Yeah. Hormones are not what I know, but I trust them to know what to do, what the best way to go is as far as hormones are concerned. You start getting older,
Yeah,
and unfortunately, all those things just go haywire. It seems.
It seems as such, everything, like my back is, I do, obviously, I do CrossFit like a lot, many times a week. And my back just starts really hurting lately.
And I'm like, so why do you keep doing it? Why do you keep doing the things? Why do you keep doing the things that you know?
Because I will not submit to age. I refuse to do that.
Okay.
But also they have New Care there, which is like a no insurance doctor. And I'm a member of that too. And it's really great if you're a self-employed person like I am, and insurance is always a difficult thing. Then if you go there, you can get just all your primary care needs. And I do that for my medication or whatever. It's anytime I'm sick, I just you can text them. I mean, it's really convenient.
It really is. It's just a one-stop shop, and people are great.
So
really great.
So check them out when you get a chance. That's Men's Health and Women's Wellness of Mississippi. Anyway, Lindsay, well, we have decided to kind of, we talk politics all the time, obviously, but we're kind of working on new things.
Y'all all know that I love true crime.
Yeah, and Lindsay loves true crime. Like, for some reason, women love, if you look at the stats, just they're obsessed with true crime. I'm not sure why that is, but they are obsessed with it. And of course, my whole life has pretty much been the last 20 years.
Your whole life has been true crime.
Been true crime. So it's not something I've, since I've lived it, I live it every day. And I'm not focused on it as much as I don't look at what trial is going on, but Lindsay does. So she kind of gives me these, she sends me these cases like, what do you think about that? And what is your analysis of that? I'm like, okay, let me look at this. And but it's just interesting to me to see the amount of just interest in these things. And I kind of, it took me so many years, Lindsay, to realize that. I know you remember when kind of around the time we first met, I flew out to Los Angeles and I shot that documentary.
The best time of your life.
Right. Yeah, that's it. No comment. No, I'm kidding. So I flew out to Los Angeles and shot a documentary for Hulu based on the Stanley Cole case, which was
Death in the Dorms, Part 2.
Death in Dorm Season 2, Episode 6, which is Latasha, which is about the murder of Latasha Norman, who was a Jackson State student way back in 2007. That's how old I'm feeling now. But so I went out there and shot that. And I remember I went out I was thinking I was going to like some filming studio or whatever. So I get to the hotel. It's right next to LAX, the airport. So it's a fine hotel, whatever. And so the next day they're like, oh yeah, we just take an Uber and we'll reimburse you to this address in Encino. So I'm like, okay, this must be where the studio is. I get out there, it's like a house. And I'm like, it's like an old house. And
if you ever watch all those documentaries, you see the people are sitting in these random places. Like they don't ever look like they're in like a professional studio. They always look like they're just in somebody's house or somebody's kitchen, just some random place.
No, that's exactly right. And that's what it was. It was it was a really nice old house, like on a hill in LA and all that stuff. And I asked the guy, the director, I said, well, I'm like, why are we here? And they're like, well, for what we do is there's basically an Airbnb for movie and film shoots, TV shoots. So you can just rent a house for like the day to shoot something. It's like an app they've got out there for everybody. So that's why they did that. And it was the group, everybody that was filming this was under 30. And they were explaining to me the kind of, they had also worked in conjunction with ABC News, and they sold it. That's what they do. They make a documentary and they sell it to Hulu or Netflix or whatever it is. And they were explaining. So I always, me, I'm always interested in the business of how anything works. Like when it's business, I just love.
You want to get to the boring part of it. Like you're there to discuss a murder, and you're like, how did the process of making the documentary work?
Yeah, like how do you guys make money off of this? Anyway, that's basically the gist of it. And they explained it to me. Anyway, that's when I really realized, I'm like, man, this true crime thing is so big. And then of course I met Lindsay and I'm like, oh my God,
I've gotten him to come around a little. He would be like, oh, I don't want to hear about this. Like, this is my whole life. I'm not interested in that. But as usual, I keep on until I get my way. And so I always tell him about these crazy, and he knows. Most of you probably know if you've ever listened to me talk that I don't do anything kind of halfway. Like there's no gray area. It's black or white. I'm either all in or all out. And so now I've decided we have to go to Arkansas and make sure that whoever it is, the DA over there knows that we are not happy with him, her, whoever it is.
Yeah, I mean, and that's where I was going with this. So anyway, I'm glad Lindsay did this because, so I started looking at these cases recently, and then I realized, wait a second, I know a lot about prosecution and defense work because I spent 20 years doing it, and I've been in so many similar situations when these cases arise. I was like, wait a second, I guess I could kind of analyze. I never thought about it before. I'm like, I guess I got some experience to analyze.
I try to keep telling you, like these law tubers, that's where it is at. They are making bank just off of watching the trial and giving their commentary.
And these are random people that are like
not even all of them are attorneys.
No, most of them are not attorneys. They're giving their like opinions on these cases. And I was like, oh, okay. Well, Lindsay and I decided that like she could kind of give the average true crime fanatic woman view, which is merely the prominent view of the country, who's the primary watchers of this stuff, and I could do the what it is like, what's like from the prosecution perspective and what's like from the defense, because I've been on both sides of that. So anyway, so she found this case, and y'all are gonna be interested in this one because I got really into it this weekend.
Yeah, I had to like really get you on Karen Reed. Like I had to keep on and on and on.
Karen Reed, to me, I like it. It's fine, but I actually am more fascinated in this just because I guess I've been in the situation before.
But I told you that Karen Reed case was going to end up being
right.
I was telling you about it a year before the second trial.
And it took off and it captivated the whole country for sure. And but everything's not going to be a Karen Reed or an OJ or those kinds of
I think this one's going to get some attention though.
This is interesting because I think there's more to it also when I really dug into it. And but we'll give you all the facts. So there is this guy named Aaron Spencer in Arkansas.
All hail Aaron.
Yeah. And
his wife's name's Heather. Remember Heather Spencer?
Yeah, I saw that this morning. I actually didn't realize that till this morning because I dug a little deeper. And Aaron has a daughter. She's not named, I don't believe. I never saw her name.
No, I think because she's a minor. She's 16, right?
Yeah.
Was it 14 or 16?
14. I believe 14.
That's right.
What I read.
That's right.
And there was a guy, so I guess in the summer of 2024, a man named Fosler, I guess I should pronounce it,
who was a friend of their family friends.
Yeah, it seems like they knew him somehow, and
they didn't know him, but they had a mutual friend.
Okay, and he had committed several. He encountered Spencer's daughter in the summer of 2024.
He's a former police chief from Indiana.
Yes, he's so let's back up and just give everybody a timeline. So this Fosler guy is somehow connected to the Spencer family. That's what you've heard, right?
Well, he was friends with a family friend of the Spencers.
Okay, so somehow through that he meets Spencer's daughter. I would assume that's how this happens. And there seemed to be some online connections. What I'm reading, that there was some connections to that. So he somehow I don't know the context of the encounter between Fosler and Spencer's 14-year-old daughter, but he encounters her somehow through the internet, I think in person, and he's charged. So he's charged with several crimes, Lindsay. I saw one of them being sexual assault in the 4th degree, I think is what it was called in this case. When I looked it up, I saw a link to the court website. Of course, they've dismissed all these charges now because Fosler is now dead, so they can't pursue it. And
well, he was arrested, and what did he have, a $50,000 bond? So he got out on got $5,000 and got out of jail.
Right. So he'd been charged with many felonies against this girl, and I think other people too as well. There's some other cases. He which is sexual assault, I think right in the 4th degree, as well as like possessing child porn. It looked like, I think there were several counts of that. Various things related to sexual cases related to minors. Not always I think the sexual assault was the only violent one I saw, but I haven't had a chance to dig super deep into it. Now, what I did look up is that sexual assault, Lindsay, in the 4th degree in Arkansas is a misdemeanor sex crime. And I'm not sure exactly what the context of that. And as we go through this for the weeks of this trial, I'll delve into that.
Which is supposed to start in September, by the way.
Right. So he commits some sorts of sexual crimes against Spencer's daughter in the summer of 2024. Then he gets out on bond, and a few months later, in October of 24, Spencer one night realizes his daughter is missing. Is that correct, Lindsay?
Yes, he gets up in the night and realizes that his daughter's not there.
Okay, so
his wife is going to stay at home and look for her around the house, and he gets in his truck.
Mm-hmm. And as far as I'm reading, so they call the police.
This is where there's little information here. We
Right.
don't know a lot of details
Yeah,
about this part.
it seems exactly when they called the police. What I don't know all that yet. There's a lot more we look into it, but we'll find out. So somehow Spencer finds his daughter with this Fosler guy, and I don't know where it
As he's
was.
driving down the road, I think he sees they're in a vehicle,
A
and he
truck, yeah.
sees his daughter in the vehicle. So maybe they had just left. But I mean, granted, you've got to think about this. There is this pending case against Fosler.
Right, on the girl.
On the girl. She is the only witness.
Yeah.
And so if he has kidnapped her, a parent is automatically going to be thinking his intention is probably to kill her and shut her up.
Yeah, I mean, no, whatever they think is intention. I mean, this guy is charged with sexual crimes against his daughter. So whatever
Right.
they think is intention, maybe he's going to rape her, whatever he's going to do, kill her, rape her, who knows? My first question though was, how did he come in contact with the girl again? This Michael Fosler is his name, the sexual predator. Like, I wonder, it doesn't specify how that
No,
happened.
because sometimes girls get caught up, and young girls are misled by an older man. I don't know
Yeah,
if
that's what I'm guessing.
well,
Like that.
I don't know if that's how this went down, or if she was actually kidnapped and taken.
I don't know.
We don't have those details, and there hasn't been a whole lot of clarification on that. And they did put a gag order on the
Which
case.
has been removed now by the Arkansas Supreme Court.
Thank God. I mean, Sean, why do they continue to put gag orders on these cases? They can, with a minor, they can redact stuff.
Well, they also, I mean, it happens in a lot of trials, Lindsay, too. They don't want certain people making pretrial statements that's going to prejudice the jury. I understand the point of it usually. They don't want prejudicial things out in the media ecosphere to mess with the jury pools.
I want transparency.
Well, I understand that too. And like, there's got to be a close line mix of the both. But, you can report on the case all you want, but a lot of times you don't want the lawyers making comments about the case that's going to spoil a potential jury, I think. And I do get the reasoning behind that.
What's strange is that there's not a lot of reporting.
No,
you have to really dig to find anything, and the details are scarce.
Yeah, and
it's very interesting.
And a couple minutes before the next break we have, I want to get to this part, and then we'll break some of this down in the next segment. So Spencer finds Fosler on October the 8th, and he finds him, not exactly clear how. He sees him in a truck, and so he rams his truck into Fosler's vehicle. Fosler is in his vehicle with Spencer's daughter at this point. Now, there's a lot of different information of what happened at that point. I think Spencer claims that Fosler physically blocked him from his daughter from exiting and lunged at him, prompting Spencer to fire a pistol at him. And then Spencer, once he shot Fosler, pistol whipped him too. And then I called 911, according to the details that I've been able to survive. So it's
good for him.
Right. And so basically, y'all, he saw his daughter in the car with this sex predator who's already been charged with a crime against his kid. He goes, he whatever he's got to do. He rams the truck. The guy gets out. He shoots the guy. He shoots the sexual predator. He gets his daughter. I don't know.
Well, there's two different stories.
Sure,
there's the story that he already had his daughter. He'd already gotten her safely away from the man,
right,
and then shoots him. You know what? Either way,
either way, and we'll break this down a little bit more. We got time in the next segment, but so he kills Fosler, and now he is charged with second-degree murder. And we're going to discuss all of this because it's really interesting how this possibly could have happened. I can give you the DA perspective that I don't agree with, by the way, but I've been put in this situation before. Lindsay knows the story. I've explained it to her. That's very analogous to this, and what happens when you're the state, and how that. The law lawyers sometimes look at the law and not people, and that's unfortunate. But I'll break that down, and we'll be back to discuss all of this.
I know one who did that recently.
Spencer case on the next segment on Crossing the Aisle.
.1039 WYAB.
Are you looking to get stronger, fitter, and push your limits? CrossFit Fondren is where Jackson trains. Whether you're a beginner or a seasoned athlete, our expert coaches and supportive community will help you crush your goals. Join us for high-intensity workouts that build strength, endurance, and confidence. No gimmicks, just real results. Try your first class today for free. Visit us at CrossFitFondren.com or stop by the gym, 3002 North Mill Street in Jackson, in the heart of Fondren. I'm Sean Yurtkaran, and I've spent nearly 20 years in the courtroom, first as a prosecutor in Hinds County, now fighting for my clients as a defense attorney. I know how the system works, and I know how to protect your rights. If you're facing criminal charges, don't wait. Call me at 601-862-1320 or visit me at onetextlaw.com. That's onetextlaw.com. Serious cases, need serious defense. And remember, just because you did it doesn't mean you're guilty. Let's get to work.
Did you know that the average 6-room house collects 40 pounds of dust each year? Local business Pure Air Consultants duct cleaning service can rid your home of the dust, dirt, and debris that may be caught in your air ducts. They can eliminate the mold, fungi, and microbes that might be growing inside your ductwork and polluting the air you breathe in your home. Mention WYAB and receive a free UV light with system replacement. Visit online at mypureairconsultants.com. mypureairconsultants.com.
So when are you going to check that thing off your to-do list?
Right, that. I don't know. How about next week?
How about now?
Or I could do it later, right?
No more putting it off. Do it now so you don't forget. You want this and have for a while.
Oh, you're right. I want this.
You deserve this, and it can help you in the long run. There, I just logged on to homescc.edu. We're getting you registered right now.
Wait. Hold up. I thought you had to show up on site to register at Homes.
You can do either one. You know that career you talk about all the time? The life you dream about? It starts today. How does that famous quote go?
Don't. Please don't.
The secret to getting ahead is
Getting started.
Fall classes start August 18th, and we don't do Fridays at home. Register at a campus near you Monday through Thursday, 8:30 to 3:30, or right now at homecc.edu. And when you come to Home CC, your tuition could be free with a 20 on your ACT.
Holmes Community College.
No place like Homes.
How do you get the hell out of your life?
Turn to Jesus. Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through him.
You trust in him, and you let him love the hell right out of you.
How do you get the hell out of your life? Replace it with Jesus. We got to be born again, born of the Spirit, and that's by trusting Jesus Christ, turning from our sins and trusting Jesus.
Tune in to Get the Hell Out of Your Life every Sunday at 10 a.m. on 103.9 WYAB.
Craving something extraordinary in Jackson? Manship Restaurant is where your taste buds hit the jackpot. Join us for happy hour every day from 3 to 6 p.m. where your wallet will thank you and your stomach will sing. Indulge in half-price wood-fired pizzas because why pay full price for half the fun? And for just $5, dive into our private barrel bourbon picks. That's right, luxury on a budget. Plus, beat the heat with our frozen drink special, a tropical escape without the travel expenses. Make your way to the Manship where happy hour isn't just a time, it's an experience.
Efficient success, and a lot of businesses are struggling with it. People Lease, a local payroll provider, not only offers top-of-the-line software, but also provides on-demand payroll support services. With People Lease, you're never on your own at every step of your payroll process. People Lease has the expertise in managing payroll challenges and will work hard to understand your business and employees. That's what makes People Lease the perfect choice for you and your business. Learn more online at peoplelease.com.
And we're back on Crossing the Aisle with Sean and Lindsay, where we are breaking down the Aaron Spencer case because now Lindsay has decided to make me a true crime junkie, which I'm kind of enjoying with this case, y'all. And not just to people that weren't
make you a law tuber.
For people that weren't listening to the last segment, we're talking about Aaron Spencer. He's a man charged with second-degree murder in Arkansas for essentially protecting his daughter from a sexual predator. Right. And I know this sounds ridiculous, and I think it is too. But it all stems from a fact. There's a guy named Michael Fosler. I'll just do it real quickly, where he had been charged with the sexual crimes against Spencer's daughter in the summer of 2024. Fast forward to October of 2024, Spencer's daughter is missing. His 14-year-old daughter is missing. He goes out looking for her. He finds her in the truck with this Michael Fosler. Mm-hmm. He rams the truck. Some altercation happens. The details seem to be a little unclear, but Spencer ends up shooting Fosler and then pistol whipping him, taking his daughter. There's some reports that he got the daughter before the killing, and there's some that he got it afterwards.
He called 911 and told them.
Yeah. And then he calls 911. So that's where we are. Well, then
my dad would have done the same thing, by the way.
No, and I think, and we'll get to that. But so then, they didn't charge him with a crime formally, I think, till November 27th. He's charged with second-degree murder in Arkansas, which is, we have that here in Mississippi, which is just basically, manifesting extreme. It's a depraved heart murder is what it's called. And it's a lower standard than what's called a first-degree murder. So depraved heart murder. So they charge him with this. And then there's a gag order in the case that's issued in December 2024. That is lifted in May 29th of 2025.
This has all gone really fast. I mean, the initial sexual crime happened in July of 24. So
Mhm.
just 1 year ago that
Yeah.
all this has happened, and they're getting ready to go to trial in September.
Yeah, it's
I
September
don't we don't
22nd
we don't
is
see that happen this quickly very often.
well, that Carly Gregg trial got to trial pretty quick, remember?
Yeah, I guess it did.
Yeah, I mean, in Hinds County, no, it depends. If you're in Rankin Madison County, about a year is standard, I think. Those counties move rather quickly. And I don't know how big this county in Arkansas is. It could be small. Maybe that's why, it's getting trial quickly.
Yeah,
But
I know I said this to you last night, but one thing that really makes me angry about this situation is that they are going to pour tons of taxpayer dollars into this trial,
mhm.
and there is not going to be a single person in a jury pool that is going to find this man guilty. It's just not going to happen.
I think it's really, yeah. I mean, I wouldn't vote guilty. Just put that before anybody gets mad at me when I give you the lawyer talk. Yeah, I wouldn't, and I would never
Because
recommend
sometimes
it.
you do the right thing.
Well, I would never recommend it for it to be prosecuted in the first place because it's a loser. I mean, it's a straight up loser. But I was telling you an example of a case that I prosecuted about 14 years ago, one that I didn't want to. And what happened in that case in Hinds County was a high school kid was living with his mother, and he had a stepfather, and the stepfather would beat the mother up a lot. And one night it became a really, really bad beating. I think he broke an arm or something. I can't remember. And so the kid, the poor kid's always seeing this.
Mhm.
So after that beating, the next day, 24 hours had passed, and then he went out and found the stepfather. And I think he was hanging out at some bar on the street, and he shot him dead. So, that's not, obviously at that point, it's not self-defense, of course, legally, it's not a justifiable homicide in that regard. So he got indicted for first degree murder. I mean, well, there wasn't first degree murder back then. It was just straight deliberate design murder. But anyway, they changed the law around 2014. So he gets it done. And so of course I get the case, and I get this case, and I'm like, damn it,
Mhm.
because I'm like, this sucks. Like, I don't like this kid. I totally get why this kid killed this guy, because somebody was breaking my mom's arm. I mean,
Right.
they're a dead man,
Right.
and so I totally get why he did it. So, but of course, my boss at the time was like, you've got to do it. And I'm like, oh my God, this is the worst assignment ever.
I wonder
But
if he's
because-
listening. If he's listening, you know who you are.
Well, no. Well, I mean, the boss, the number one boss is dead, so he can't
Yeah.
listen. But so I'm doing this, and I'm prosecuting this case, and I'm obviously like, I don't want this. I'm like, do I try to lose? I don't know what to do.
But are
It's
you
like,
really going to try really hard to win that one?
oh, you don't? Well, because you're just like in this moral dilemma. You're like, because I mean, look, legally, and that's where I was going with this. Legally, he's guilty. Legally, under the law, it's not a justifiable homicide.
Community improvement killing.
And I get all that, and I 100% agree with all that. But I'm saying, if you look at the law, you can't do that. That's a vengeful act, right? Now, it's one that I agree with, and I'm having no problem with. But under the law, you're still guilty of first degree murder. Maybe you can downgrade that to a manslaughter, but that'd be kind of hard because the whole day passed. And anyway, that's just legal minutia. But my point is, so that's the way he gets indicted. In Hinds County, that kid got indicted because, that's what fit the law, unfortunately. That case resulted in a mistrial. Thank God.
Sometimes laws are made to be broken.
Yeah, I mean, or bent.
Sometimes you just have to do the right thing.
Right. And so I've been in the situation before where, when you're the prosecution and you're following the law, and sometimes following the law doesn't jihad with what everybody else in the community thinks. It
Well,
just
when you
doesn't.
give the jury those jury instructions, like when the judge reads the jury instructions, I'm sure the judge is telling them, this is what the law says. So even if the jury knows
They
that
will know what the law
that
is, fine.
yeah, and the jury knows that yes, he did this, he's guilty. We've proved beyond a reasonable doubt that
Yeah.
he murdered this man.
Mhm.
But is the jury going to go with that, with the law, with the jury instructions? Or are they going to think with their hearts?
Well, see, that's the whole thing. Right. If the jury says we agreed to follow the instructions, like in my case, for instance, where the kid killed the guy a day later, and it wasn't in self-defense, it was just because he was mad and the guy had beaten up his mother and understandably mad. They are instructed that that's a murder. That's a deliberate design murder.
And how do we know that had he not done that, the man wouldn't have killed his mom?
We don't know. But he's in violation of law. I mean, it is a murder, unfortunately, just what it is. It's just a good murder. That's kind of what we're saying,
Exactly.
And
you made the world a better place. Let's give you a medal.
Yeah, exactly. No one's missing the dude that got killed. That was a serial domestic violence in that guy.
And I'm
nobody's
very
missing
sure
that guy.
nobody's going to be missing this guy who's sexually abusing 14-year-olds.
And that's what I'm saying. So now you go to this case, and I think
Did you see him? Did you see a picture of him?
Which one? The molester?
Mhm.
No, I didn't see one. I just saw the defendant. Well, my thing is, though, and I think sometimes prosecutors have a hard time understanding this. I've dealt with this in my career so many times. understanding the utility of the grand jury. And I used to call it the dumpster, because like if you had a crappy case, you could just take it to the grand jury and say,
And
hey,
they're still they do whatever you tell them.
90% of the time they do. So you could just go in there and say, look, y'all, this case sucks, and we can't. This is what I would have said to them. Like, this case sucks, but we need to tell everybody that we presented it to y'all. So, it looks like we're doing our job, and we need you to kill this. And that's what I can't understand, why the prosecutors in Arkansas couldn't have seen that there is no way they could get a conviction on this guy. Absolutely no way they can get a conviction. It's almost, it's comical. Now, is it possible that somebody, because you never know, Lindsay, look, I had this experience in my life, over the last 20 years, you never know who's on that 12-person jury. You never know.
He was charged with first degree, not second.
Who? Aaron Spencer? Yeah, I'm not sure. I thought it said second degree in the article. Was it first degree murder?
First degree.
Okay, they're charged with that. All right. So you never know who's on the on that 12-person jury. There may be somebody that's a stickler for the law. You just don't know. So like, he does run the risk of somebody saying, hey, I'm not voting not guilty.
It's not going to be 12 of them.
But it's not going to be 12 of them. That's exactly right. It's not going to be 12 people. You're never going to get 12 people. You can't get 3 people to agree on where to go to lunch. You're not going to get 12 people to agree that the guy that shot the molester, that had already been charged with molesting and sexual assault against his daughter. I keep calling it molesting, sexual assault. That like him going, and that the girl was in the guy's truck. First of all, what's a 14-year-old doing in a random guy's truck anyway at that point, that's already been charged with this thing, obviously. So, you're just not going to get...
There was an order, too, a no contact order.
Yeah, you're not going to get 12 people to agree on that. I'm telling you right now, like, I respect the law. I follow the law. You get me on the jury, I'm not voting guilty. Like, yeah, right. Like, yeah. I'm just not. I'm going to be honest about it. And I'd probably say that in voir dire if, you heard some of the facts of the case. I'd say, I can't follow the law here because this is just... unfair,
If I was a juror, I'd be like, yep, I'll follow the law, and then I would do exactly.
Yeah, maybe you could try that angle
yeah.
too. But it's hard. What I don't understand is there more facts that are out there that we don't know about? Because I can't see how the DA, the DA decided to just go forward with something that looks like an obvious loser, Probably corruption. I don't know what the reasoning is, but it just seems very clear that there's no way you could win this case. And if I was Aaron Spencer, I'm not pleading guilty to it either. So what are you going to do if you're the DA?
Yeah, I find it interesting that he has a background in law enforcement.
The dead guy.
Dead guy.
He was a chief of police in
right.
Indiana
So is this kind of like he's one of ours?
But he's in Arkansas though. Like, what does it have to do with Indiana? I read that too in an article, and I'm like, you guys are stretching things a bit here. Like, so like the law enforcement in Arkansas is like somehow buddies with the Indiana people. I don't know if that's true.
Maybe not buddies, but is it just like it's a brotherhood and
so the DA is going to indict him based on like some.
I don't know, but why else would he? I'm just speculating. But why?
I saw that. No, I read that too. You're not just it's written in there. People have that theory, but I don't think it makes any sense because the guy who's probably an elected DA is going to like risk his like professional reputation and career over like.
Are they elected or appointed?
I'm sure they're
in
elected.
Arkansas.
I'm sure they're elected. I don't know of any DAs that are appointed anywhere. Maybe there's some, but I've never heard of that.
I think there are some who are appointed.
There may be. I don't know. But most states they're elected positions. So.
But why would he do it then? What would be the reason for him? In your opinion, why do you think he did it?
Just like the guy that got indicted in my case, with the killed the stepfather, it's because sometimes there's lawyers in your office that are sticklers for the law and don't understand human beings. Like sometimes that happens, unfortunately, just like the Capitol Police case. We can break that down with this in the next segment, but that's a great example for how this happens. And we can talk about that. We'll talk about the AG's office doing a similar thing. We can talk about how my case relates to this, and we'll get into all this because this is one of the most really weird situations I've seen and why this Aaron Spencer man would get prosecuted. But join us back on Crossing the Aisle next segment.
.1039 WYAB.
Peace, love, and pizza. Happy Holidays from Johnny's Pizza House. Try our new cauliflower crust today. 10 inches of crunchy good vibes for a limited time only. Groove on in and share a slice today. Peace, love, and pizza from Johnny's Pizza House.
Win free pizza for a year this summer at Johnny's Pizza House. Your pizza's already a work of art. Now, let it win you free pizza for a year. Just snap a pic with your favorite pizza and enter to win at johnnysph.com/share my slice. Peace, love, and pizza at Johnny's Pizza House.
Americans for Prosperity is Mississippi's and the country's leading grassroots organization dedicated to promoting economic freedom and personal liberty. Americans for Prosperity advocates for limited government, free market policies, and empowering individuals. When given freedom and opportunity, Americans are capable of extraordinary things. If you are ready to make a difference in our community and want to get involved, then visit americansforprosperity.org. Be a part of positive change at americansforprosperity.org. Paid for by Americans for Prosperity.
Nick Bain served Mississippi for over a decade in the State House. During that time, he fought for our children by protecting them against explicit materials pushed by the woke agenda. He protected taxpayers by streamlining government and helped create policies that have made Mississippi better. Nick and his team at Bain Bowen will use the same tenacity in helping you with all your legal matters. Call them today at 601-953-2994. Find Nick online at bainbowen.com. That's BAIN Bowen.com.
Pure Air Consultants has always been your go-to for reliable and affordable heating and cooling systems, and now we are offering day and night brand to avoid the 25 to 30% increases that everyone is talking about. With day and night, Pure Air Consultants professionals can install a reliable system with a 10-year system warranty, and right now receive $20 off on service diagnostic fees. Call us today, 601-939-7420. mypureairconsultants.com.
CBS News Brief. President Trump in Scotland today met with the British Prime Minister, and Gaza was on the agenda as Israel announced a pause in its military operations to allow some aid to flow in.
The whole place is a mess. It'll get straightened out, but it's a mess. They have to get food and safety right now.
Aaron Navarro reports the president's also shortening the time frame he gave Vladimir Putin to stop the war in Ukraine.
The president indicated earlier today that window would be cut because he, quote, already knows the answer and what's going to happen.
Trump said he's giving Putin 10 to 12 days starting today. Around 180 million Americans are under some sort of heat alert today. Meteorologist Craig Allen says it stretches from Florida to Iowa.
There are nearly 30 states with some kind of heat alert that could include a heat advisory or an excessive heat warning.
Stocks are mixed. CBS News Brief, I'm Cammie McCormick.
Hi there, it's Lori from the mailroom. Of course you know we offer shipping with UPS, FedEx, DHL, and the Postal Service. But did you know about all the other services we offer? If you need to have signs made or business cards, brochures or postcards, we can do that. If you need copies, laminating, or binding, we can do that too. Do you need a notary, need to send a fax, or get a passport photo? Of course we can do that. Come check us out. We are south of Germantown High School at 272 Calhoun Station Parkway, Suite C, mailroomgluckstadt.com.
Your roof is constantly exposed to the elements, battling dirt, algae, and stains. But with Watkins Construction and Roofing Roof Wash Service, you can keep it looking like new. A proprietary rooficide treatment is EPA approved, safe, and guaranteed to prevent algae from coming back for at least 2 years. No harsh chemicals. No damage, no black streaks, just a clean, beautiful roof that lasts. Call Watkins Construction and Roofing at 601-966-8233 or visit nomoreroofstains.com today.
At Bank of Yazoo, we believe that common sense makes for better banking. That's why we've taken our array of checking accounts and simplified them for you, boiling down features and benefits to create our New You, Achieve You, Benefit You, and Protect You checking accounts. Ready to discover how simple is better? Talk with us today. Bank of Yazoo, Bank of You. Member FDIC and Equal Housing Lender.
Men, let's talk about low testosterone. Do you suffer from any of these symptoms? Low sex drive, ED. Are you always tired, depressed? You have loss of muscle mass? You're obese? Maybe you have loss of focus and drive? Then you, my friends, may suffer from low testosterone. Let my buddies over at Men's Health in Mississippi, located right there in Madison, check your numbers today. Trust me, she'll thank you for it. I promise. Check them out online at menshealthms.com. That's menshealthms.com. Men's Health Mississippi.
And we're back on Crossing the Aisle with Sean and Lindsay talking about the Aaron Spencer trial that has kind of taken over our weekend, I guess you would say. Like we've been following and interested in. It's been very popular news in Arkansas, but as Lindsay was saying earlier, there's not a whole lot of reporting about it.
No, there's really not. And, that's one thing, I was watching Melanie Little, she did a show about it. And there's one thing that she said too, is that what's the deal? I mean, the gag order didn't stop the media from covering it
Right.
or from the media talking about it. So why is nobody talking about this? I don't know, something just seems really strange about it.
Yeah, it's an odd one. I mean, again, like I was saying last segment, I don't understand how any DA could have looked at this and said, "Yeah, man, he's going to get convicted." And here, I'll even stretch this. Let's assume the facts, and I don't know this, where Aaron Spencer sees Michael Fosler with his 14-year-old daughter in the truck. He goes, stops, gets his daughter out of the truck, puts her in the truck, his own truck, and then goes over to Fosler and shoots him in the head. Would anybody have a problem with that? I don't think a jury's gonna have a problem with that.
I think he should be awarded.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And so, like, I think most people would be like, "Nah, don't got a problem with that." And he's not. And at least there's going to be some that think that, or maybe the majority. So he's not going to get convicted. And if you're the DA, you think you would know that, like you would have enough experience to understand that. But I was telling you in the last segment, a lot of times I think lawyers just get too much into what the law says and doesn't see what a jury's going to think. Unfortunately, they just, like in my case where the one that I tried that was indicted, where the high school kid killed his stepfather for beating his mother, but waited a day later to do it. So it was obviously a vengeful thing. That was not a good case. That case should never have been indicted. But I mean, did he break the law? Yeah, he absolutely broke the law. He shouldn't have. That is a murder. But when you're talking to 12 people, there's going to be a lot of, I would say the majority of them, they're going to be like, I don't care. Like, that guy broke his mother's arm and been continuously beating her. And he went over there and he found him a day later and he killed him. Yeah, I don't care. There's going to be a lot of people that say that. So, like, if you know that your case, I think, is not one that that's going to be good for, to win at trial, I don't indict it in my mind. I don't see the point of doing that. But
this is the facts coming from the sister-in-law, the girl that was sexually assaulted. This is her aunt speaking. She said, beginning in the spring of 24, my then 13-year-old niece was targeted by a predator, groomed and assaulted multiple times. The Spencers were silently suffering through the slow process of justice as this monster was put in jail, then immediately released on a low bond with zero supervision and a no contact order. He was awaiting arraignment for the multiple felonies he committed against my niece, and she was expected to testify. In the early morning hours of October 8th, my sister and brother were awakened in the night to every parent's worst nightmare, a missing child. They immediately contacted authorities, and then Aaron did what any good parent would do. He got in his truck and went out looking. By some miracle, my brother-in-law passed the predator with his underage child on the road. A chase ensued. There was some sort of divine intervention because this could have ended in such a different way. If you're familiar with our family, you know what happened next. In protection of himself and his daughter, the night she was kidnapped, Aaron shot and killed the predator and then was arrested and is now awaiting trial for, this says second-degree murder. So I'm seeing.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought I read second.
But I've seen first-degree murder several places too.
It makes sense to be that it could be a second-degree murder because it means it's almost a heightened level of heat of passion. It's called depraved heart murder. And that seems more likely than a first-degree murder. But I don't know. I don't know all the facts of it.
And it's the same judge that put the gag order on as the one who let him out on that low bond.
Okay, same one. Well, here's the thing too. I mean, the prosecution, what I've read, is their theory is that, that it's not a justifiable use of defense of others, which is like if self-defense in the context of defense of others is, reasonable belief that the person you're defending is immediately threatened with death or serious bodily harm. To me, you could clearly see that here, that he would be. But I'm assuming that their facts, or what they're going to develop, is that he secured his daughter and took her to safety, and then went and killed him in the same time frame. But just because, like, hey, look, I got my daughter, I put it in the car. I've read some of that allegations too. Again, the facts seem to be kind of murky here. But I'm even arguing too, even under this fact scenario, I'm fine with it. And then he went and killed Spencer and then pistol whipped him. So I think that's what they're saying. The state's arguing that, like, Fosler was not attacking the girl at the moment of the shooting, that Spencer had already disabled the truck by ramming it, removed his daughter, and held Fosler at gunpoint. That's what the state is saying. They claim Fosler was no longer a threat when Spencer fired, so the danger was not imminent. Which, again, this is talking about like how lawyers just look at the law and don't look at what people think. The alleged pistol whipping before the fatal shot may also undermine the last resort element of defense. That's what they're saying too. So I think that's kind of what,
So he could have stopped if the pistol was whipping.
He could have just got his daughter and left and not killed the guy.
I don't think he did enough. I think he should have tortured it.
Yeah, retarded.
Like, take him home, tie him up, and like rip toenails off, and one by one.
Yeah, no, I mean, look, I'm with you. I mean, I don't care what he did to this guy. Guy sounds like he he's in a better place. It is a community.
He's where he needs to be.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I think too. But if you're looking at, if the state is, that's what they're saying the facts are, then technically under the law, yeah, that's not a self-defense situation. That is a second-degree murder or whatever degree they charged him with. But in actuality, nobody's going to convict him for that because they're like, wait a second, you mean he shot the sex predator on his daughter? Okay. I mean, anybody's going to do that.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like with my case again, where the kid killed his stepfather a day later because a guy like broke his mother's arm. I mean, yeah, was it a murder? Sure. Do people care? No, they don't, because they're like, well, I mean, this guy's been breaking this woman's arm and beating her in front of her child. And then he goes and he's mad because understandably, all the guys, out there, we all have mothers. And if someone beats your mother and breaks her arm, you're gonna be pretty mad about that, and if somebody gets killed over it, well, FAFO, as Clay says.
well,
I mean, that's kind of what it is.
Yeah, it seems, and this family seems like they feel very betrayed by the system in Arkansas, because it was the same judge, and now she attempted to put the gag order on and to stop people from really knowing the facts of the case, and so their life has been turned upside down, and it almost seems like the justice system is working against them.
Yeah. Well, it seems to be okay. Well, they gave the guy a bond, and then there was a no contact order, so I don't know what they could have done at
They
that
could have
point.
kept him in jail.
I mean, yeah, I guess they could have just no bond him. I mean, they could have done that.
Yeah,
too.
or at least give a bit much higher bond than what they gave. I mean,
Sure.
most people can come up with $5,000 to get out of jail.
Yeah, I mean, in a sexual case like that with a 14-year-old, I would have thought the bond would have been higher.
13 at the time.
13, yeah, I thought the bond would be higher. But let's say it was 150,000 and he made that. That's kind of all the court can do. I mean, bond is not supposed to be a punishment for a crime; it's to secure your attendance at trial.
Well, yeah, but then the court decides to indict him.
Not the court, the DA.
Well, the DA, whatever.
So that's different. That's two different aspects. We're talking about. So then the DAs, and I saw some talk in the articles about they're mad at the sheriff, and I'm not sure what the sheriff has to do with this. He investigates it, hands it over to the DA. The DA decides what they're going to do. The sheriff has no say in that. In any county, like the sheriff of Hinds County can't tell the DA of Hinds County who to indict and who not to indict. Now, off the record, that kind of does happen when they get mad at each other. Back days of Malcolm and Millen when I used to work there, but it's not the way it's set up. So the DA makes the ultimate decision.
So if the DA had decided not to indict, could this man's family? What would their retaliation be against the court system or the DA for not indicting a murder? Is there anything?
Nothing. I mean, the DA can no bill. What's called a no bill when you take it to the grand jury and it doesn't get, it's a no bill.
So if somebody kills somebody and they know the DA and know that the DA is not going to indict them, then they just get away with it.
I mean, unless you can prove there's some quid pro quo or corruption. Yeah, I mean,
there's corruption everywhere.
Well, I'm just saying you'd have to prove that. The DA has ultimate authority to say what gets indicted or what doesn't. Now, the grand jury actually has ultimate authority. I mean,
but they just do what the DA tells them
90% of the time. Yeah. So I mean, you look
right 99%.
If someone gave the DA $10,000 and he took the case in the grand jury to no bill it to get rid of it, then yeah, that's illegal. But otherwise, if there's no quid pro quo or corruption, then yes, the DA can make the ultimate decision of what they want to do or how they're going to present it to the grand jury. And again, the grand jury does get to make the decision, but they generally
who's on the grand jury?
It's it's random citizens, just like when you
really?
Yeah, just like when you get subpoenaed for jury duty.
Sometimes when you get subpoenaed for jury duty, that's what it is.
Yeah, just like to say, you don't know.
Interesting.
In Mississippi, you got to have 15 for what's called a quorum. You need 15 at least. So the yeah, I mean, so ultimately it's up to the grand jury to do it. But so here the DA, it's not the sheriff. The DA took the case for the grand jury. He's the one who decided, or he or she, I don't know who they are, but they're the ones who decided to indict it. So it's up to them. They could have said, no, we're going to kill this. Trust me, I've made those recommendations a time or two in my life. We're going to kill this case in the grand jury. And I know everybody who's been a prosecutor has done the same thing. I would have thought if they were looking at this, it seems clear to me that you're never going to win this. The best thing would have been just to kill it in the grand jury.
Back to what you were saying about looking at law and not seeing people for people. At what point do you put yourself in this man's shoes? Because his whole life is turned upside down.
Sure.
I mean, it's going to affect the entire family and for just protecting his daughter.
I mean, and you're the DA. All you got to do is take it to the grand jury and say, man, I presented it. And the grand jury said that they didn't want to indict it. Because that's what you can do as a DA. You can blame it on the grand jury. That's the great thing about the grand jury, because nobody knows what goes on in there. So you can say, oh, the grand jury didn't indict it. I don't know what happened. That's the little thing you do. So that's what I would have done if you wanted to satisfy Fosler, that's the sex predator's family. He could have said, yeah, the grand jury just said they didn't want to indict it. That would have worked. But for some reason, obviously, they presented it to get indicted. And for what reasons, I can't understand, unless they have a couple stickler nerds in their lawyers that are saying, oh, well, technically he did break the law based on the facts that we got. Even though, I'll say it this way. A lot of lawyers think it's a big deal to get an indictment. It is not a big deal to get an indictment on anybody. It's easy to get an indictment. Winning a trial is hard. That's hard. Getting an indictment, it's just you and the grand jury and an investigator reading a file.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not hard. So, but people mistake that. Oh, got indicted. No. Like, that's easy. That's the easy part. And so, and even lawyers do. This is not just the general public. Like lawyers, when I worked for Robert Smith, he was like that. Oh, we got the indictment. So what, Robert? We got to win the case now. And that was like something he didn't conceptualize at that point.
Yeah, forget an indictment. This man needs to be held as a hero. I mean, if it were me, I would have taken the man back to the house. I would have locked him up somewhere, cut his penis off. It would have been bad.
I know it would have been bad. And we will talk about how Lindsay would have cut his penis off in the next 7 across, and I'll join us back.
WYAB.
We all love the farm-to-table food concept, right? Well, at Burnt Corn Farm, they bring you locally grown flowers straight from the farm to the vase. With a wide selection of flowers and excellent service, Burnt Corn Farm will make your next party or shower a southern delight. Sign up for a monthly bouquet subscription, and their farm-fresh flowers will brighten your days all season long. You can also book your next family photo session in their wildflower field. That's Burnt Corn Farm on Facebook and Instagram.
Hey, this is Ben Ingram from the Braves Radio Network. We're in commercial right now, so I want to let my sister take over and tell you about Hometown Property Group.
Thanks, Ben. This is Mary Claire Putman with Hometown Property Group. Whether you're buying or selling, we are committed to guiding you through your real estate transaction with integrity, exceptional service, and remarkable results. Madison County has been my home for 40 years. I'd love to help make it yours, too.
That's Hometown Property Group. Give them a call at 601-853-6080.
Pet emergencies don't wait, so why should you? At Urge Vet Emergency Vets of Madison, we offer low wait times and cutting-edge technology to provide fast, expert care for all household pets. Our hours of operation are weeknights 5 p.m. to 8 a.m. and 24 hours on weekends and holidays. Our phone number is 601-790-1918, and follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Because when it comes to your pet's health, trust the team that's fast, reliable, and compassionate.
Get the jump on the season at the #1 stop for all your boating and custom water sports needs, Smith Marine. Crest pontoons are here. Come experience luxury and style with a 90-day, no payment, no interest financing option with approved credit. Plus a 1-year Seato membership, free cover, free Bimini top, and free inflatable tube. And these crests are pre-rigged with Suzuki motors and Suzuki's industry best warranty. Smith Marine also buys quality pre-owned boats with consignments and trade-ins on the res in Ridgeland and at smithmarinesales.com.
Pickup truck, sports car, motorcycle, minivan, townhouse, 2-story, farmhouse, fixer-upper. What you drive and where you live is different for everyone, so it's important to have insurance that fits your needs and is just right for you. At Shelter Insurance, we understand that, which is why our agents help you design a comprehensive auto, home, and life insurance plan. Insurance that fits just right.
Proudly serving southeastern United States. Come see me, Jamie Creel, Ridgeland and Flora, Shelter Insurance.
All Britain's Jewelers. When love requires a gift, nothing says it better than All Britons. Since 1920, we've been part of your family. From weddings and anniversaries to holidays, we've been there for every special occasion. At All Britons, we value your trust. Every gift, whether large or small, is a reflection of our commitment to quality and excellence. There's a reason we're still Mississippi's foremost diamond merchant. Let us show you why. All Britons Jewelry, 4460 Old Canton Road in Jackson. All Britons Jewelers.
Health has always been reactive, focused on fixing problems as they happen. But with Blue Primary Care, we're taking a proactive approach, working with you to help you understand your health and empowering you to be healthy. It's time to prioritize you, your health, and your life. The results? Less worrying and more living. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Mississippi. It's good to be blue.
Tri-County Tree Service, the Jackson Metro's premier company to handle all of your tree service needs. Russ Borland and his team specialize in large tree, low-impact removal. Tri-County Tree Service has the right equipment to safely handle the most technical trim jobs or tree removals. Storm damage can happen year-round, so let them clean it up and they'll deal with your insurance claim. Tri-County Tree Service, by phone at 601-TREE-GUY or online at tricotreeservice.com. That's tricotreeservice.com.
Come together.
Welcome back to Crossing the Aisle with Sean and Lindsay, where we're just wrapping up our show on the Aaron Spencer trial out of
Free Aaron
out of Arkansas, where Mr. Spencer is charged with. We're agreeing it's second-degree murder now, right? Second-degree murder.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen it both, but yeah, I think I just was looking at the Supreme Court document and it looks like second degree.
With the second-degree murder of Michael Fosler, who had already been charged with sexual assaulting his 14-year-old daughter. And,
13 at the time.
13 at the time. I get it. 13 at the time. 14 when he found him with her later, like 3 months later, 3-4 months later, in his truck, in Foster's truck, and Mr. Spencer shot him and pistol whipped him, which sounded like
So we
a pretty good idea to me.
Throw a party for him.
But the DA there thought it was a good idea to indict this and thinks that there's going to be a lot of jury appeal, which, after being an assistant district attorney for 10 years and trying probably over 100 cases in that regard, I do not see how any jury is going to find this guy guilty.
Convict.
I just can't see it.
And I mean, if there is one person that chooses to follow the law, I guess, as it's written, then they'll hang it up. And then, well, you're gonna retry this. You're gonna spend more money on this, more taxpaying dollars. When this man did a good thing, he rid the community of a sexual predator.
Yeah, I mean,
it's insanity.
I think, Lindsay, if like he had found the guy, like he already had his daughter, and the next day he went over to the guy's house and killed him, you got a better claim for it. You know what I mean? Even though I still think it'd be tough to get victim in that way, but you have a better claim. Like in my case with the kid, the next day he went and did it.
Is there ever an instance in the law where it says it's okay to kill someone, like if it's the right thing to do? I mean, if it's warranted, if it's warranted like this, if you. Is
it's
there
warranted.
anything?
If he just deserved
hold
it.
on, hold on. I'm not saying this the way I want to. Like, not if you do it the next day, but like in the moment, the heat of the moment.
Well, I think you have you might be charged with heat of passion manslaughter, and it's not a defense, but it reduces a murder, murder to manslaughter. But I think you would, in this regard, he's got a defense of others argument that he is going to push out there, and I think his lawyers would do what, if I was defending him, what I would do is I'd kind of slip in the he needed killing defense, which is like implicit, through the whole trial, and I'm sure they're going to be littering the whole thing with that. Now there'll sure be fights over what testimony or evidence can come in regarding the deceased, prior convictions.
It was this man's job to protect his daughter.
They're going to be relevant in this regard of what happened. I think that's coming in. If I was a judge, I'd let him in.
Well, it was his job to protect his daughter, and he did just that. Good job, Dad. Good job.
He did. And so the trial starts September 22nd. We're going to be glued to it. We're going to do it on YouTube. We're going to try to follow this on YouTube a lot. And we'll talk about it here on the radio. Seems like a lot of people are really interested in it, and we're excited about following it. So
absolutely. So y'all gotta look at that.
And we will be back tomorrow at 12 to talk about more. I don't know. We'll find out.
Yeah.
See ya.